Chapter 36. The snow was falling even more heavily now, but that didn't bother Babbitt. The lights of the cab did. He flinched when he suddenly spotted them. Not below, but at the same altitude as the jet-powered rotorcraft, barely 100 yards to the left. Not much more than that ahead. "Jesus!" The startled co-pilot reacted loudly. "I see it, Vince," Saldana assured as he turned the H-65 sharply to the right. The helicopter landed behind the International Arrivals building half a minute later. Malone leaped out, crouched under the whirling rotor, and ran on past a parked DC-10 to the terminal. When he reached the cab, he saw the controllers speaking into their microphones again. Despite the fact that the jamming was over, their faces were as grim as before. "Mid-air collision," Wilbur said angrily and pointed north towards a dim glow. Annie Green answered the question before Malone could ask it. "Your daughter's plane is still up there, Frank." He resumed breathing again. "Are you bringing them down?" the detective asked. "We can't. Radar and ILS are still out," Wilbur replied. "But the radio's working. We're using it right now to divert as many planes as we can to their alternates. That's the best we can do," Wilbur told him. "Why not all of them?" "Some don't have enough fuel to go anywhere else," the FAA executive explained. "If the wind hadn't changed, a couple would have run out already." TWA-22 Heavy had the least fuel left. It must be one of them. "You did the numbers, Annie," Malone said. "How much longer can they stay up?" "It's hard to say. There are a lot of variables." 5 minutes? 3? "I don't know. I'm not God, Frank. I'm a watch supervisor. Look, we're talking to the pilots about it. They could try to land without radar." "And there could be another mid-air collision," he responded harshly. Then Hamilton hurried into the cab, walkie-talkie in hand. "All 7 are here," he reported. "Just got word the FBI convoy arrived with its 4. Now what?" Before Malone could answer, a telephone rang. It was the outside line. "This is number 1. Are you ready to make the delivery?" "Yes, as soon as you stop jamming the radar," Malone replied. "After we're outside US airspace. Don't try to bargain with me, stupid. You've got nothing to bargain with," Staub taunted. "What about our long-range jet?" Malone pointed down at the big airliner on the apron near the Coast Guard helicopter. "Is that their plane?" Wilbur nodded. "Set to go?" "Full tanks and the flying crew's in the cockpit." "There's a DC-10 waiting for you about 60 yards from the International Arrivals building," Malone told the terrorist. "It's ready for immediate takeoff." "Pilots and navigator on board?" "In the cockpit." "Tell them to start the engines," Staub ordered. He hung up the phone and walked quickly from the terminal. As he strode through the snow to rejoin the Puerto Rican brothers in the white van, he smiled. "We have won," Willi Staub said triumphantly to the storm. It hadn't gone exactly as he wanted, but that didn't matter much. The fact that the men assigned to operate the 2 jammers were not here wasn't important. They had obviously made some errors, deviated from his perfect plan. That was annoying, but Staub certainly didn't need those fools anymore. Like everyone else he knew, they were disposable. They had served their purpose. And he had done what he set out to do. He had outwitted the reputedly impregnable air traffic control system, massed local and federal police forces, and total military might of what was supposed to be the greatest power on Earth. One man, Willi Staub, had defeated the United States. Delighted by that thought, he chuckled. He was still grinning when he reached the van. Juan and Paco Garcia stared at him curiously as he opened the right front door. The older brother was behind the wheel, and Paco Garcia was looking through an opening from the rear compartment. Neither brother had ever seen this cold and domineering man smile before. "Good news?" Juan Garcia asked as Staub settled into the front seat beside him. "Of course. Let's go." As always, Staub had considered every fact and possibility in shaping his plan. He'd expected that there would be crowds of civilians filling the International Arrivals building. He'd also anticipated that there would be many police in the terminal by this phase of the operation. He didn't want to deal with either group, so he had decided to avoid the building. He had worked out another way to get out onto the airfield. Using a map and photographs, he had drilled the Garcias on exactly what to do and say. The two young FALN members had carried out his instructions efficiently in blowing up the key microwave relay towers right on schedule. Now he would make sure the brothers performed with similar precision here. As Juan Garcia started the motor, Staub took out his 9mm pistol and screwed on its suppressor. He put the weapon on his lap, carefully covering the gun with part of his raincoat. The van cruised slowly down a curving service road for more than half a mile before it turned off at a gate marked "Authorized Vehicles Only." Juan Garcia stopped the small truck beside the guard post. "Your pass?" the security man asked from his booth. "Medical emergency. We're from Queens General," Juan Garcia told him. "Some Delta mechanics had a heart attack. Father Shanley's with us to give the last rites." Queens General Hospital was neatly stenciled on both sides of the white van. The driver wore the equally white uniform of a paramedic, and the sober-faced man beside him was garbed in the black attire and stiff white collar of a priest. "You're supposed to have a pass," the guard said. "Please," Staub appealed earnestly as he reached for the pistol. "We're told the poor man doesn't have much time." His fingers closed around the gun butt. He released the safety catch. Peering through the swirling snow, the guard hesitated, thought about his own uncle in the oxygen tent at Bellevue, and opened the gate. "Bless you," Willi Staub sighed, with a well-practiced hint of piety, a moment before Juan Garcia stepped on the gas pedal. The van rolled through the portal onto the airfield. Within seconds, it was out of sight in the storm.